How's it going, everybody? It is Jacob here, and to answer my question before we even get started, probably not. Actually, most definitely not, for various reasons, but a boy can dream, okay? I'd like to speculate. I have my own theories, not even really theories, just me just being a dreamer, man. You know, I like to dream, and I'm gonna dream for as long as I possibly can until the Nintendo gods squash those dreams into nothing, because Pokemon on Switch probably isn't gonna be an MMO, but we're gonna talk about it anyways because I think it would be a really interesting concept for Pokemon to become an MMO, despite it's very likely not going to actually happen. Pokemon is obviously a very well-established franchise and has never really been big on multiplayer at all, really. The only multiplayer we've seen is in the beginning just local battling and then online battling, but it's never really been fleshed out all that well. We had the plaza or whatever in Sun and Moon, but it was kind of disconnected from the rest of the game. It was kind of odd, honestly. So we've never really seen the full potential of multiplayer in a Pokemon game, and that's where the MMO part comes in. So obviously an MMO is a massive multiplayer online game, meaning that millions of people potentially play it at the same time, all on the same server, in the case of like ESO with their mega servers where like millions of people play on the same server in the United States or North America. Obviously, we have not seen that to any degree in any Nintendo game, like, at all. Mainly, Nintendo's online service has been lackluster compared to most other online services from other game companies that we know. But that being said, it does not mean that we are without complete we can still have a little bit of hope, because Nintendo is, of course, launching their online service in September, and it's going to be a paid service, so fingers crossed that since we're actually paying for it now, it's going to be a quality service, and the servers will be much more reliable and better, be able to handle much more stress than what they currently can, meaning an MMO might be possible, something like Destiny 2, Elder Scrolls Online, World of Warcraft, the likes. So this is where Pokemon comes in. So a lot of people don't really realize this. Pokemon is actually a lot like an MMO already, or the traditional style of an MMO that you already see. So this is where Pokemon being an MMO comes in. So a lot of people don't really realize that Pokemon already draws a ton of similarities to traditional style MMOs. And there's a lot of people that I personally know that hate MMOs. I love MMOs, which is why I'm making this video, because I would love a Pokemon MMO. But you love Pokemon but hate MMOs, and it's kind of strange, because if you really sit down and think about it, first off, the combat is usually less dynamic in a Pokemon game than in MMO, but people complain about grinding in MMOs. Okay, well, you gotta grind in Pokemon if you want to level them up to, say, beat the Elite Four, go to the Battle Plateau, whatever you want to do, you gotta level your Pokemon. Well, there's your grinding. You gotta level them up to the level cap. Level 100. Guess what has level caps? MMOs. So there's similarities in that regard, but more importantly, the combat system is also similar. You have certain skills that you can equip and whatnot, and if you really think about it, like, if anybody could do it, I think the Pokemon Company could manage to make Pokemon fit into a MMO kind of more style. I think it would be a lot closer to the likes of Destiny. So what spurred this whole thought was, a few weeks ago, my brother called me into his room and he was like, "Hey Jake, come look at this Pokemon leak I found." And it was of a guy running around as a Pikachu, fighting other Pokemon, playing as the Pikachu. And it definitely was fake. It was not legit. It was something that this guy probably just animated. But it was a cool concept. But it got my brain thinking, what if the combat was more dynamic, like in an MMO, rather than stop and turn-based in like a battle format, but it was more along the likes of, say, like something like in Final Fantasy 15, where it's kind of like stop and go almost, but it isn't completely like stop everything, battle music starts, and then you go into like this fight scene, and then, you know, it's, oh, you attack, he attacks, you attack, he attacks, stuff like that. Not like that, but a little bit more dynamic, how you fight other Pokemon or people. But it got my brain thinking about that, and then I was thinking, well, if you think about it, that would make for a decent MMO. And then I was like, well, Pokemon fits into that formula pretty well when you really sit down and think about it. And that's where this whole idea came from. And it's not completely without, I've done a little bit of research, so obviously there's the whole recent thing about Project Beluga being the rumor title that there's going to be a Gen 8. Gen 8 is pretty obvious in my opinion. They're not going to release a new Pokemon game on a new console that's either a remake or not a new generation. They're not going to make Sun and Moon 3 for the Switch because that's not... That would literally just be dumb if they did that. Like, they're wasting an opportunity there. So it's very clearly going to be Gen 8 if they are thinking with anything at all of a brain. And then there's the whole Project Beluga thing, but that doesn't really matter. But if we do look, so there's an article on Tech Radar where if you scroll down, so there was this leaked image that definitely, we're not 100% sure if that's legit or not. But you do see Pokemon swimming around, which is a little hard to deny whether or not, you know, you see a Gyarados tail there. You see some other fish-looking Pokemon around, and, you know, I mean, personally, like, it does take away a little bit of my opinion, or my hopes, but not entirely, because it does still mean it's more free-roaming, and, like, oh, instead of just walking the grass, you walk literally into the Pokemon, or, like, what up, dude? Continuing on past that leaked image, because we're not 100% sure if that's... there's almost no information on Pokemon thus far besides what, like, the actual, like, CEO has said. But if we look right here... Alright, so in an interview with Bloomberg, the Pokemon Company's CEO, it says that with the Switch, we see it as a chance to create Pokemon that goes deeper and with a higher level of expression. So that is definitely MMO RPG kind of thing. We're already confirmed that, like... There was a questionnaire that Nintendo sent out to people that asked what type of games they would want to see in 2018, and one of them was Pokemon RPG. Obviously, Pokemon games are already RPG-esque, but RPGs fit very well into the MMO format. He also suggested larger scale multiplayer gameplay is being considered. He said, until now, games are made as one for one person, but now you can go home and play with everyone. So... that gives me a little bit of hope, because they're considering making it more multiplayer. So it being to the scale of something like World of Warcraft, I definitely think is a no-go. Even to the scale of Destiny 2, I think is a no-go. But it does give me a little bit more hope that they are at least expanding their views on multiplayer. Because something for me is I've always loved sitting down and playing games with other people, and it's very hard to often play games with people in real life because you have distances to travel and whatnot. But now we have the internet, and I have so many friends that I've made from Discord and everything, and I want to play games with them, but obviously they can't just like, hey Jacob, can I come over? Yeah, be there in 18 hours. Like, that's not a practicality. So I like to play games online with people, especially games like MMOs, because you see very clear progression and you can really get invested into it, and it's more than just a single round of Splatoon, you're done, you carry on with your life. And so that's why I would really like a game like Pokemon to be like that, because so many people play Pokemon, and if they made it a more multiplayer experience, personally for me, it would make the game 10,000 times better. Who knows? But regardless, feel free to discuss down in the comments. Obviously, this is very much my own opinion, my own hopes. Is definitely not fact at all. But just speculation, potential speculation. But feel free to discuss down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you also enjoyed it. Ring that bell if you really enjoyed it. And you could also consider checking out my Patreon page because it helps me very, very much. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great